Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's on DisneyPlus.com, and I'm here with Sofia and Ian, who are the composers of the brand new Hulu original film Rosalind, which is coming out this coming Friday. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're thrilled to talk to you.
That's cool. Could you just give a brief introduction to yourselves and what you've worked on that people might know about?
So I work as the name Drum and Lace, and some things that people may have seen are an Apple TV Plus show called Dickinson that Ian and I co-scored. Mm-hmm. We also worked on a Netflix movie called Night Teeth, which was like a vampire movie, which was really fun.
And then another Netflix film called Look Both Ways.
Yeah, and I feel like those are some pretty recognizable ones. I also recently worked on a slasher LGBTQ film called They Slash Them, which was really fun. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I must admit, I did say to my wife just before, I was like, oh, they did the music for Dickinson, because that was one of her favorite shows. So that was pretty cool. So how did you get involved in composing sort of films and series and so on?
I think, I don't want to speak for Ian, but I think we both sort of fell into it. I've been a fan of music my whole life. I've been singing for as long as I can remember. And, that evolved into playing some piano and picking up a guitar and playing in some bands and being interested in music. And that led me to Berklee College of Music when it came to picking a university. And I got in and went to Berklee. And then when I was there, I actually discovered the film scoring major. And I had never thought about it as a career, but I'd always loved film and film music. And there's a big history of film and film music in Italy, where I'm from. So that's sort of how I ended up at the composing and the scoring career, and took a little detour, and now have been living in LA for nearly 9 years and just, been going at it.
Yeah. The same for me. I was always into music and I always loved film, but never really thought about combining the two until I was a couple years in the Berklee College of Music and realized that there was a film scoring major. And that kind of set me on a new path. I didn't necessarily jump into it right away. I was in a band called Passion Pit for quite a while, and spent a lot of my time on tour. And then eventually kind of came back to scoring, started from the complete bottom, and just really tried to work my way up.
It's just kind of interesting, always kind of hearing how people got into it, because obviously it's very different than like normal music kind of things. But in terms of Rosalind, how did you kind of come up with the overall feel of the score for the film?
So I think Ian and I have a very specific sort of sound when we work together. So that was, we knew that was kind of like the launching point, and that we'd gotten hired because that's what they liked. But then we got to work on some on-camera music moments before jumping into the score, since they needed us to kind of come in while they were still shooting. So that really helped, because we got to work on some Renaissance pop cover songs, and that kind of helped to set the tone, because we had to pick live players from the time period that were going to be on set and on the screen. So we came up with this Renaissance ensemble to play the pop covers that are in the movie.
Yeah, because that was one of the things that I really liked about the music, was it kind of, like you said, it had a Shakespearean twist, but then it was like a modern version. How did you come up with that idea?
It was just through discussions with Karen Main, our director, and Maggie Phillips, the music supervisor. We really wanted the score to feel exciting, and overall we wanted the film to kind of have like a little bit of nostalgia towards like early 2000s rom-coms, like Can't Hardly Wait, 10 Things I Hate About You. We were really trying to kind of grab a little bit of that energy that existed back then and bring it back to this film. And yeah, our score was just like, we knew there was going to be pop songs in it that were going to be kind of recreated through Renaissance instruments, and we kind of wanted our score to be able to live in the same world as those.
Yeah, that dancing on my own song, I love it. I've been listening to that. It's kind of one of those things of especially with it coming out, seeing the movie just before it comes out. It's like I really want to listen to the full score kind of here. So I'm really looking forward to hearing it when it drops onto the digital platforms. But what was your biggest challenge with working on Rosalind?
I think maybe the biggest challenge was finding the right tone for comedy. We always struggle with comedy cues, I think, more so than drama, just because with comedy, you have to really make space for the dialogue and for the jokes to land and for kind of the actor's delivery to come through. So there's a few scenes in Rosalind where, you know, there's these very high comedy moments, especially between Rosaline and Juliet. And it was definitely challenging to find the right tone, to find the right instrumentation, to find the right rhythm, so that then we could pause to allow, you know, a breath for Rosalind to say something, for example. So I think that's maybe what was the hardest, just kind of coming up with the comedy parts of it.
That's cool. And kind of in terms of doing these kind of things, what was the highlight of working on this film?
I think we had the fortune of working with all these incredible musicians at the recording sessions. We flew to New York and spent 3 days at Power Station and got to record string ensembles, percussionists, a whole Renaissance ensemble, woodwind players, and we don't always get that opportunity. A lot of what we do ends up kind of being staying in the synth world. So that for us was incredibly exciting.
Yeah, there was such a sense of camaraderie, and we really felt like we had the team. And, you know, you spend 3 days in the studio together with all these people, and by the end you're really sad because it's like this magical coming together. And then, you know, as Ian said, we don't get to do it very often with our music. So it was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Cool. And sort of how long did it roughly like take to put the score together for the film?
I think we started writing actual score themes in December and went through about April. So
yeah, and then we recorded in May.
Yeah, we would be on and off. Like we would write a bit, have like a week or two of downtime, come back to it.
Yeah.
It was a nice schedule, actually. We were super lucky.
That's cool. And I got to ask you, and obviously if you can't say that's perfectly fine, but are there any other future Disney projects you might be working on?
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, I wish. No Disney in the prospects, but keep your fingers crossed for us and we will too.
Yes.
And I was kind of leaning into that one really is there any Disney owned franchises or anything that you'd like to tackle at some point?
I would love to do something in the MCU, whether it's a show or a film or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like same. I feel like Ian, that's been one of Ian's lifelong dreams. So I would be very, very satisfied even just seeing that happen for him. So
it's kind of one of those, especially like, you know, the whole kind of thing with the MCU is so big, and now at least now with all the series and stuff, there's actually, you know, more opportunities and so on. But I'll just kind of final question really is, and it's kind of connected with Disney Plus, is what has been your favorite Disney Plus original so far? And we're not going to obviously allow for Rosalind.
I just watched Werewolf by Night over the weekend. The Michael Giacchino directed and scored special, and I thought that was really great. That was really fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's just been so much coming out. It's been, you know, all the series have just been really great. Whether, you know, it's like Andor or Obi-Wan. I mean, I really find that those are just like such big cinematic undertakings, and it's just been really exciting to see all the things coming out.
Yeah, there's been a hell of a lot, but it's been great kind of, honestly, just kind of catching up with Rosaline, and as I said, that will be arriving on Hulu in the United States on Friday, and it'll be arriving around the world on Disney Plus. So again, thank you so much for taking your time out to speak to me today about this upcoming film.
Of course, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe. Also, a huge thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and also on our YouTube channel memberships. And I shall see you guys in another video. Laters.